Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Alpha Picks. This is your host, Iman speaking. I hope everyone is having a fantastic week so far. In this video today, I'll be discussing and going over a particular stock which I believe has a very high potential of another 25% on the upside. A lot of you would have probably heard of this stock by now. If you haven't, where have you been all this time? But jokes aside, we'll go over the fundamentals, we'll go over some important news in relation to the stock, and of course, discuss the next steps moving forward. So a bit of an overview regarding the current state of the stock market. Everything is heading back in the green, which is very promising to see. Over the last couple of days, it was quite volatile. We saw a lot of reds. Most of the graph, if you looked at it, everything was pretty much showing red color, quite daunting on the eyes, but now we're having some greener days ahead. A number of these I already own. Google, for example, that's one of my biggest positions. Meta, I continue to dollar cost average into both of these. Even Microsoft as well. Amazon is another company I'm a huge fan of, and I do DCA into Amazon also. However, let's talk about the stock in question today and let the drums roll. My stock pick is NVIDIA. This behemoth of a company, this giant of a company, has been going from strength to strength with millions upon millions of users and very loyal users, I'd say, making it very difficult to switch over from NVIDIA to other providers or other competitors. So let's talk about this stock in depth, and I'll obviously give you my thoughts and my target price. Before I dive into all that information, I just wanted to give you a bit of a profile overview of my, you can see all the stocks that I own. NVIDIA, I do have very heavy positions in this particular stock. I'm already up 196% this year. And we can see Meta, I'm up 43.78%. Google, I'm up all of these. And also one of the stocks that I gave you guys last week, ASML Holding, this is already up by 10.31%. And I believe even today, this screenshot was taken from yesterday. Today would be much higher than this. So this is the reason why my process works each and every time. I don't invest with emotion. I don't chase FOMO. I don't chase hype. I just chase fundamentals and logic. And this is the proof in the pudding. So let's talk about our stock today, which is NVIDIA. Now, some key developments as of September the 9th. NVIDIA remains at the center of the AI boom, but faces rising competitive and geopolitical pressures. Despite a recent stock dip, its dominant ecosystem, massive buyback plan, and next-gen chip roadmap keep long-term bulls optimistic. And this is me. I'm a long-term bull when it comes to the stock, and I believe it's got a lot of legroom based on the current prices. The key highlights are, I've done a summary for you guys. I've done a ton of research already, but I've created this summary so you can easily follow and save yourselves a lot of time and headache. Broadcom threat. So Broadcom, ticker symbol AVGO, is one of the biggest competitors. It's got a $10 billion in AI chip wins for Broadcom, may cost NVIDIA up to $12 billion in sales. Citi cuts NVIDIA to $200 from $210, but retains a buy rating. Buyback Power announced a record $60 billion stock repurchase. NVIDIA now holds $57 billion in cash. Not too shabby. NVIDIA beat the second quarter with a quarter three guidance at $54 billion. So this is looking very solid increases in revenue. And this is one of the items I look at when I conduct my analysis and due diligence. There are still tensions with China. Stopped H2O or H20 chip production, now pushing these particular chips for China pending US approval. So a bit of a threat there. Next gen supply, we've got this one here. And then let's talk about this particular point. These two last points, I don't really worry about them too much. The investor takeaway. There's a short-term volatility driven by competition and China policy. However, the long-term upside remains very strong if supply, execution, and geopolitical navigation hold firm. That's exactly 100% what I believe. There's going to be some volatility happening perhaps in the next couple of weeks, maybe next couple of months. But this is the whole idea of dollar cost averaging. Every time there's going to be volatility, you guys come in and you buy things at a discount. I'm looking at this as a long-term investment that's going to pay you pretty a penny once you're ready to sell. All right, let's go to the tip ranks for NVIDIA. We can see that it's giving it a strong buy rating, which I 100% agree with. You've got a lot of buyers coming in. There's a price target of $210.73, which is over 25% upside. This is looking pretty solid. And we've got some very high-level analysts, and these guys are all buying and saying that it's going to go up very nicely. And these guys have recently reiterated the pricing, means that they're still quite bullish on this particular stock with a high price target of $250. And I'm very confident we're going to hit that in the near future. All right, so let's talk about our next screen here, which is Seeking Alpha. And we can see that the trailing PE ratio is standing at 47.95. And it's actually looking pretty good because the forward PE ratio is lower than the trailing PE. And this is something that I look at as a very solid signal that the analysts are expecting the analysts are expecting the revenue, the earnings to go up. And the PEG ratio is currently below 1, which is fantastic. This means that this is a very undervalued stock, in my opinion. The analysts, especially the Wall Street, has given this a strong buy, and we can see Seeking Alpha analysts have given this a buy. Let's look at a few more metrics. We can see that revenue growth has gone up very nicely. It's an A+. Forward revenue growth is projected to be A+ as well. Everything's looking like a very solid report card. So it's all heading in the right direction. Now, regarding the ratings, we can see that Wall Street analysts have given this is the one I like to look at, not the other two. And Wall Street has given this a 23% upside potential with a price target of $206.55. I believe this is very frugal. It's very conservative. In my opinion, it's going to go much higher than that. Obviously, the price targets are moving targets. They're going to be updated over time as the company revenue numbers and the statistics for income, for expenses, and so forth as they become a lot more clear. We continue to see shift in the sentiments of the analysts. So let's talk about one of the other more inclusive research I've done, and this is using the tool Stock Unlock. If you guys are not familiar with Stock Unlock, please look at the link in my description. It takes you right to the website, and I do not ever make a decision without consulting with Stock Unlock first. This is a bit of a summary. NVIDIA Corp has grown revenue at 71.55% over the past year, which is a strong growth, and I agree with this. Also, it has more cash than liabilities, meaning it could use its current cash position to be completely debt-free if it wanted to. In other words, it can pay off its debts super easy, no problem. Now, in terms of the profitability, it's a score of 4.8 out of 5, which is very solid. Everything's looking very good. Let's go to this section here. The items I look at, revenue increasing, yes or no? Yes, it's increasing, and the rating is very good. We look at the operating cash flow increasing. Again, another very good indication given here. Free cash flow increasing. It's been given a very good score. So this is the beauty of Stock Unlock. I don't have to go to bar charts and graphs and so forth. I don't have a lot of patience for that. I'm quite lazy sometimes. But we can see everything's been given the green signal, and even the return on invested capital has been given a very good rating. ROIC, or return on invested capital, is also known as return on capital. And you can see that it says ROIC shows investors how much profit the company's invested capital generates. It essentially shows them if the company is investing money wisely and getting solid returns from it. So this is all heading in the right direction. Return on equity, equity, return on assets, both of these are very good. The current ratio is looking pretty solid. I like these numbers. And everything else is looking pretty good. Next year, projected EPS, again, very good. These are secondary in nature. I look at these as nice to have, but not necessary. The ones that are necessary for my analysis are these ones here. It's the growth metrics that we looked at earlier. I looked at this one. This is the main one I look at, followed by free cash flow increasing, and then net income increasing, and then this is the fourth item I look at, just as an FYI. In terms of the analyst ratings, I can see that Stock Unlock have given this a middle range of 25.4%. So this is very similar to tip ranks, and I like these numbers. These are the odds I like to play with the average target price of $212.23. And given the very optimistic view is that it's going to go up to $409.22. I don't think this is impossible. I think this is going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years. Given the current the trajectory of the stock and the way it's generating money, it's generating these amazing results, this is not unrealistic at all. Okay. So let's go over to the next screen. I got the screenshot from TradingView. One of the items I like to do is add total liabilities plus total debt to see what the final figure is. So adding them two together will be around, give or take 51 billion. I like that figure to be absolutely less than the total assets. So 51 billion is definitely a lot lesser than 140.74 billion, meaning that this company is asset rich. It can definitely pay off its debts and then some, and pay us all until we retire, the whole universe entirely, and make sure that it can generate the type of cash that's required to never be broke or bankrupt. So the other item that I look at is the total assets. You can see the total assets been increasing every single year. This is looking pretty solid. Every single quarter it's been going up, and total liabilities have been quite steady, all pointing in the right direction, as we say. So let's talk about the price target. The price target for this stock is $210.73. Let's just say $210. This is my price target. I will not sell the stock until I reach this. Then I'll think about whether I want to sell or not, depending on how the market's looking. Never fall in love with one particular stock. If it reaches your profit target or selling target, then by all means, if you feel this is something you're happy to sell, by all means, go ahead and do so. And you have the other option of revisiting the numbers and seeing if the target price has actually moved up, which is sometimes what I like to do. But I do like taking profit along the way. So this is a 25.29% upside. Now, let's talk about, let me just close this. I want to share with you one last screen. One very important item that I look at is the Moat score. The Moat score is currently a 9 out of a 10, which indicates exceptionally durable competitive advantages. So NVIDIA dominates with 90% AI GPU market share and best-in-class chip performance. I can ignore this one here. End-to-end platform strength, hardware, networking, and software integration give NVIDIA a unique competitive edge, 100%. And obviously, NVIDIA's very, very powerful, very, proactive CEO, his vision and execution, plus strong partnerships with hyperscalers sustain its moat. Last but not least, even competitors, right, acknowledge NVLink and CUDA as enduring advantages. So everything's looking pretty solid, and this is all very promising. So guys, this has been the video from my side. Please let me know your feedback, your questions. Are you buying? Are you selling? Are you holding? Are you scared to buy or get in? Which I believe this is not the right time. I believe this is the correct time to execute some action and to buy some of this stock because it's currently operating at a discount. Looking forward to hearing from you guys, and I'll keep you posted in my next video as I uncover more stock opportunities with a very massive upside. Thanks, gang. Have a lovely rest of the day. Bye-bye for now.